Hi, welcome. It's Rose. So grateful you're here today. Join me today as we create some more ephemera for our journals. I've got several flip pockets for you and stackable pocket tags that are here. Lots of fun, and I hope to see you soon. Let's get started. We're creating ephemera for our journals. This can be done with any paper pack from anyone. What you'll need to be able to do is use Adobe PDF or your printer program to print your pages, multiple pages per page. So this is what you do with a 1x2, which is a 1x2. The possibilities are endless. I'm going to show you one or two things from each of the different sizes that I use on a regular basis. And I wanted to show you that there's two ways of doing this. So you can print a pattern paper on the back of one if you want for this particular project. Or what I actually prefer, these print really nicely back to back. And by that I just mean that the silhouettes, the outlines of the journal page match on each side. So I've got a background for each of these. So let me just show you here. I'm going to cut this out here, but before I do, what I'm going to do, because I'm going to make some file folders, I'm going to pay attention also to these edges here. Okay, and I'm going to grab a couple of scraps so that I can kind of make this look like, oh, I'll show you. Okay, I actually opted to do it a little bit different. So I'm going to, just out of sake of time, what I would do, if you want to use your punch that looks like this, that's what I did right here, is I just cut my tabs from my punch to save time, because I want to cover a lot today. What you can do, which is another way to do it, would be to collage this edge just enough where you might be putting your tabs, so you have something to cut out of. Like I do this here. You'll have to do it on both sides, but it's a great way to attach a tag without using a tab punch. Next thing I'm going to do really quick is I'm just going to cut these out. Okay, so I've got my four. So these are really like a mini page. What I'm going to do here is, as I fold these, I'm going to fold them, but I'm not going to fold them in half. I'm going to fold them just enough of a lip. You can see here that they're not being folded in half. Just so that you can see that there. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually round my corners. Rounding the bottom. And then I'm actually going to round So I've got these rounded and the bottom corners rounded. Ink soon. Not quite yet. What you're going to do is basically we're going to look if we're going to put 3 or 4 together. So in this one, let's see, we're probably going to do it in 4. So basically, you're just going to kind of gradually, I think it's okay for me. I don't mind to eyeball it, okay? But let's see here. Probably right about like this. So you can do what you want on a decorative edge here. There's a couple of ways to do it. Not a right or a wrong way, but if you don't want to use these tabs, you can create your own just by using your scissors. I'm not going to do that on this, but you'd cut that out and cut this out and then remove this strip here. That gives you basically your own. You don't need a punch. I'm going to just take a minute here and I'm going to ink my edges and then I'm going to attach these tabs, and seriously, that is how it's so easy to make some file folders. Okay, let me kind of catch up here. I have also worked with the file folders from the kit, the 1789 Versailles kit. So a lot of the kits that you might purchase from Wild Rose Bohemian, they'll have file folders together. It doesn't matter if you've got them from this kit or someone else's or you've made them. I just want to show you that there's a couple ways that you can put them in your kit. One of them is to put them together kind of as a combined unit, and these could always be stuffed if you wanted. I'm going to just kind of leave mine like this because the journal itself will be getting quite chunky. I want to show you the other ways. So these ones here are now inked, and I actually opted to cut my own tabs. I did that because I actually wasn't liking the shape of the tag itself with this style. I'm not sure why, but I just didn't. So one thing we can do on the inside, of course, you could make pockets. You could make this a notebook. There's a ton of things you could do with this. These file folders are awesome if you want to make them into like a specimen card by cutting out the circle center here with a tab, in which case I wouldn't have printed that on both sides. But I want to show you that I need to have a place in my journal if I'm going to gift it. At least this is my thought process, okay, is that I want to be able to gift the sentiments, some of the extra sentiments and the labels and things. So I'm going to probably, let's see, on one side, I don't know how much room here I'm going to need, but we'll just see here. I brought some of the sentiments and stuff that I have. So basically, one thing to do is to just basically create some pockets. And I'm just going to use a little bit of glue on the very edge. I need my smaller tip. You could use any size pocket to tuck anything in here. Ephemera, extra fussy cuts, lots of possibilities for file folders. So what I meant by putting like the labels and things like that in there, these are really nice small pockets to just kind of stick these in here for later use. It's a nice way to kind of be able to see what you have too, and if you're going to gift the journal. So you kind of get the idea there. Load it up with the, maybe a little bit more organized, I'm not sure, but you get the kind of the general idea here. I'll do that off camera. So that's one way that you can do that. I think that probably this one will need to have, you know, both sides done. So I'll complete that off camera and show you when I'm finished. And then this one, another thing to do, I like to use vellum a lot. So I've printed some vellum, and I'll be showing you in this video a couple of different things that we're going to do with the vellum. You can make the same type of pockets there, that the same size here with the vellum by cutting it into strips. So instead of labels, you could use vellum. I'm going to just make a couple of vellum pockets, and part of the reason I like the vellum pockets, honestly, is because the vellum pockets allow me to see what is in it, and if I'm going to be storing stuff like words or sentiments or something like that, then so I'm going to do this probably, which way should I do it? I'm actually cutting the same size, and I'm completely and totally eyeballing it. And I'm going to round my corners here so that it matches my bottom. And I'm going to notch it too. Got both my pockets together there. One there. And there. They could also be done like this. Right? They would have to be smaller, these particular ones, but I'm just kind of showing you that you get the idea of the type of vellum pockets. You could do pockets out of anything that you wanted, really. So I'll give you an idea of those. And I'm not even really going to decorate the pockets or anything, because you'll be able to see what's in the pocket. And since the one I put sentiments, oops. Let me show you what it looks like with the fussy cuts in it. Okay, so that's what it would look like with the fussy cuts in there. Okay, this is totally random, but here's what the sentiments look like. So I probably would fill both of these here, fill another one with sentiments, or I don't know, just whatever. It would be extra ephemera. And that'd be a really nice thing to tuck into the front of the journal. I like to put like a little letter from the maker, and then these extra things wrapped together. It's a really nice way to do it. So there's this one put together, and then this one put together. Okay, so shall we move on? So let me show you just, a lot of this to me seems like I just want to kind of begin to point you in the right direction. This here, with it being printed on double-sided here, what we can do here, I'm going to create a couple of tags pretty quickly here. If you like this paper, I don't know if I'm going to finish this paper set. So if you like it, let me know. It's actually a lot of work. I have about 8 out of 20 pages made. I guess I could always make less pages, but for now, there's a freebie that's a sovereign freebie that I let you know that on my coffee site that has 3 of these papers. The password is BELLE, and B-E-L-L. Let's see, B-E-L-L-E. Yeah, B-E-L-L-E. 5 letters, all capitals. And I think I say that in another video. Quite a few of you have contacted me to get the password. So, but the password is BELLE, B-E-L-L-E. So, okay. So for this one, let's see. Okay, a little bit difficult for me to figure out what I wanted to do because I didn't want to cover up some of this. Basically what you're going to do is just make a choice about where you're going to cut, and you're going to cut on a diagonal here. It's ended up, it's going to cover up the Eiffel Tower anyway. Well, let's see. Yeah, we'll do it that way. Okay, and then I've got this extra piece here. Pretty simple. Okay. Yeah. Angle my top. You get the basic idea here for this one. Okay, so you're going to save your piece that was cut off, and yes, I'm rounding my corners. I'm going to also ink off camera, probably decorate it, and I'll fill it. So set that aside there. So this one, same thing. Fold it in half. And you're going to do the same thing with this one. So this one, let's go the opposite way. Yeah. You can get creative too, however you You could do different shapes as well. So for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself 3. Yeah, just like that. I could do that, or I'm going to flip it on this side. Okay, and like this. So same thing here. What I'm going to do off camera, just ink and trim, and then I'll be back to glue. Okay, here we go. Let's just glue these up here. So I wanted to show you, you could also, on any of them, feel free to flip it like this. That's fun too. Make a design choice that resonates with your heart. So, I'm just so then the choice here, I'm going to close this now, and I'll have to trim it. And these tags are pretty simple, but it's fun to have a nice little stack tag. And I think what I'll just do is show you at the end what these little beauties look like. Decorated, but you get the general idea, okay? Okay, let's continue here. I'm using some of these pages that have they're cut, not cut, but they have this kind of shape on it. There are some freebies on my coffee site that you can download. I think they're on the Freya Friday freebies. So I printed that on one side and then the paper on the other. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to cut these two pieces out here, and these are about the size of, they're not exactly an ETC size, but they're pretty close, and they're perfect for either making like a little ATC card size or T card size, something to tuck in your journal, or they're also something that, you know, like if you wanted to create a frame or some other, I don't know, plenty of uses for that size of ephemera. So you see you've got these two sizes here. Okay. Oops. And I've cut this piece here just a little bit shy of being exactly where this is, because I'm also going to trim this a little bit from just ever so slightly here. Like you can see, I'm not shaving off too much here, but I'm wanting you to see that. Just altering the shape a little bit, and then down here from about there I'm just cutting in. You can create whatever shape you want for your envelope flap, but that's the one that I'm wanting to create there, is just a little bit in there. So then what I'm going to do is score here and here. Here and here. Okay. And then I'm going to cut here just a little bit past so that I still leave a lip on this side. So that. As you can see, I just have a score on one side here, and then I still have I need to score this piece here also. And I think this is kind of a long flap. I think that I'm going to show you how to do one of my favorite ruffles on that. There. So I got a flap here. Now if I wanted to, I could get fancy and I could also create a flap here. But I think I'm just going to actually glue it. This part needs to be cut. starting almost at the corner. You create it in the shape that you like, but I like to have a little something to tuck in here. Whoops. I didn't quite get that directly on the fold, so it looks like I need to trim a little bit. Thank goodness, paper is forgiving. Great. You know, I might even want more. I'm going to do more. Should go be more adventurous. The flap is big enough that I could go back further more. Yeah. Okay. So now with this piece, the next thing that I want to do is I'm going to also here pick which one I'm going to have it go. Do this right here. I'm also going to create a little score here. And what we're going to do is if you have a template you want to follow, that's fine. I'm going to really do something totally random, but I'm going to start at my wettest point here and probably not more than here, but I want to create a little bit of like a decorative kind of doily shape. Just let's see what I did here. Something like this here now. Okay. I want to show you too next. Probably one of my very favorite things to create ruffle from is coffee filters. I have a bunch of coffee dyed coffee filters, and one I love the you know, the flexibility. I love the way it sounds, love the way it feels, and if it had coffee on it, I probably would the way it smells too, but I'm just actually making a joke. So what I'm going to do is cut from my coffee filter. I'm not going to use the parts that got overdone. And probably, given the length that I'm going to need, I'm probably going to want twice the length, so that's good. I'm going to rip that in half. And all you do when you create a ruffle, see if I'm going to do a 1 or 2 layered. I'm just going to kind of crinkle it up. It's really pretty easy to just kind of fold it. Just like creating like a folded fold. So maybe even better to be about 3 times, it looks like. So let's see how much into this one we go. Another thing that looks similar and has a similar feel is crepe paper. You can get those streamers from the dollar store. I bought specifically before to match specific kits. Just didn't use it that much, so I've kind of stuck with the coffee filters because of the shape and that I really like Actually, it looks like I need a little more here too, so cut this. And I want a little bit more there, so I'm going to actually add this. I'm not sure what it's called, the binding that goes on the top, but I'm going to cut a piece of that from a scrap. So I'm digging in my scraps. I'm probably going to use something like this, and there might be something even. I actually think I'll use this. Just going to cut a little strip. Where I'm hiding the edges of my little ruffle here. Right. Yep. Really fun to create a little paper rose that matches that, which you can do by just essentially you're going to just twist a piece of paper and twist it into a flower if you wanted to. There are quite a few different tutorials out there that show you exactly how to make a paper rose. I don't love them, but they actually look pretty organically nice. I'm just showing you briefly what that kind of looks like. So that's an option. I may use something more like that. That looks a little more elegant. I like that. So let's put that on. I'm going to also ink up right now the edges on whoa, my gosh, way too much glue. Tell you what, I think I'm going to put that on after, and after we ink and we get everything ready to go. I got way too much glue out. So you'll see it in the end here. Wow, way too much glue. I'm going to pause for a second and ink the edges. Okay, so I've inked my edges. I've added a little bit of embellishments, and I'm just going to show you that I'm going to put this together now. And really this lip is almost, it's not really necessary because of the lip on my flip. So I am gonna have to glue them together first. And then add glue to this lip. And don't forget the glue down at the bottom of my envelope. This is ready to be stuffed with some ephemera. I wanted to show you what I've done with some of these, I guess they're lace sample cards. So I don't feel like I need to show you, but the kit does come with these, and they're like, so it's got a coffee filter ruffle on it too, and I've just folded these over. They look like this. Okay. They have some really cute sayings on the back. So you could make it a paper pad, which is one idea. I could show you that, but I think that's kind of self-explanatory. You could layer lace or fabric in there. What I've done with this here is actually make like a little tear sheet type thing of sentiments that I'm going to tuck in my journal, and then I put this on Carter stock. So there's one like that, and then this one here is decorated up, and it's made from just a tag, right? So it's got a tag folded over, not one that actually came from the kit like this. So this one's got there's a tutorial on my channel that shows you more how to do that, and it's from last year, but I thought I might stuff this pocket. Something like that. Okay. And what I want to do here, just to kind of keep this closed, I'm going to tuck some ephemera behind there. Grab a few like placeholder. No. Maybe not. I want to create a little bit of a like holder. I don't know if that's the right word. Yeah, closure. This way we're not sure if this is the front. Okay, so I just created a little closure using just a little strip of paper. Oh. One side it's got the flower, so this side looks like this. As it dries, it'll be easier. I won't have to be so gentle with it. And it could be reversed too, either way. But, and then in here, I just have a little notebook. These are made from the matchbook. You can see this is one of the pages of the kits. It's got several things you can do with this. And I've made the Yellow Rose collection videos have a lot of explanation more on matchbooks, but I feel like that's an inspiration, and it's more meant to be not necessarily something I'm going to go into, since I did that a lot last month and we have a lot to cover. So if you want more information on making matchbooks, there's that in the Yellow Rose collection videos. And if you'd like me to talk about it, please leave that in the comment box below before I move on from this journal. I'm happy to go over that page in one of the next videos. We had that, a little ruffle. And so you could stuff this with anything, but it'll find a nice place in my journal and just be added to the ephemera. That's a sample of something you can make. Okay, I think I want to also show you, oh, that's pretty on that side. Okay, so this one here, we're just going to cut this whole thing off here, and then we're going to line this up and score, whoops, here to the where it meets there, and then I'm going to cut the other side of it. And left here, and then I'm going to also score here again. So this one gets done quite a bit the same way, but I'm going to make a much smaller size here, and in fact, let's see, yeah, I'll just do it freehand. Cut off quite a bit here. And you could really make it any shape you want, but I really only need that much of a flap. So I've cut this off, and I will use this, trust me, this shape here for sure. Okay. With this not being even, it looks like I need to, I forgot to create a little bit of a fold here. But I'm not even going to worry about that right now. I'm just going to cut it off and glue it, straight glue it without a flap. Okay. I just want to show you what I've kind of figured out, and I think is kind of fun to do, and that's I've been using this little punch to create an inner shade, like a specimen card. I'm going to do a whole tutorial on it, because you can get it where if you push right up against the edge, it creates that there. On this side, I'm going to leave enough because I'm going to have to use a knife on this side. But it actually makes it really easy, and for someone who's been intimidated by knife use, I am gradually kind of, let's say, I am gradually working on it. So one thing we could do is just leave it like this and score and make a door, which is kind of fun to do. Actually, let's do that. You could use a knife to cut that out, but let's just make a door. So right where your space ends, you're just gonna do a little score so that this folds open. I like to use vellum, but another thing you can do is use lace. So let's see. I don't know if I have a big enough piece of lace, right? Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's use some lace. You can use vellum too. I used vellum in the sample that I made. Oops. I don't know if I showed you that, but here's the sample. I should have showed you that first. So this envelope has vellum inside of it. Looks like I need to zoom out a little bit. Whoops. Yeah, there we go. And then this tag goes on the inside, and of course, this also, oops, I need to add a pull for this. But this goes inside, and was created from the cutout that slides in here. But this is vellum, okay, so you could use vellum, but let's use lace. I will definitely have to trim this after I glue it on. Let's make sure it's the right size. Yes, yes, it will fit. Okay, I'm going to ink my edges and I'll be right back. Alright, I've got my edges inked. Just gonna this. Attach the lace. Suppose you could use clear acetate or transparency film also if you wanted to put here. Make more like a slide. Possibilities are endless here. Oops. This is a little bit fragile right now. Okay. Trim this up. Could have really let the lace overflow on this side if I wanted. But not doing that. Okay, so this is actually the piece that I cut off. Okay, and I just want to attach it on this side. And then we'll trim it. Right? So I folded my flap upward to create a pocket. I'm just gonna trim. I think I'm gonna trim it after, so that'll be cut off. So just got a slit in the center there. And I'm folding it open. Probably put a little flower or something there on that. Okay, but I'm going to put glue here so that I can attach this back. really actually coming out very slow. Nope. That background is too dark, isn't it? See, I didn't take that into consideration. No, thank you. Ha, much better. That will change everything, but I think that shows off the lace much better. And I really did not take that into consideration. So, here we go. Be willing to be flexible. Oh, thank goodness, it's just paper. Okay. See how much better this looks on this side than that other would have. So now I've got to just improvise a little bit on this side. Could also create another foot there, but I think not. Use this on this side. I think this side will have to be cut off, but let's just see here. Yep. So I'm going to lay this down then and we'll cut it. See how much this needs to be trimmed. Oops. I think what I'll probably do is embellish this off camera. I think we've probably covered quite a bit enough today. I have to just keep plugging away at the videos for you with the ephemera. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you have learned something. Come back and show you how I've, oh my goodness. we go. Come back and show you how I've finished embellishing this little envelope flip pocket tag, the one with the door here. Show you what ends up looking. Thank you again so much for joining me, and I hope to see you again in the next video. I might also say, if you're watching this series and you're creating a journal alongside of us, would you please leave in the comment box below things that you would like to see more of, what you have questions or curiosity about within the kit, pages you don't know what to do with, pages you don't know what to find. Please leave me any questions and comments in the comment box below, and what I can cover in the future videos. There will probably be about 3 more videos. Okay, here's a summary of what we made today. Got some file folders. Stuffed those with the sentiments. I think this one has, nope, I didn't put stuff in all of them, but this one has fussy cuts. This one's empty here. These are the file folders from the 1789 Versailles kit. I didn't put anything in those, I just decorated them with a little band and some labels. We made some tags. These are basically just stuffed tags. Okay. Made this tag. I think this needs a little more, needs to be stuffed with something else, I think. Let's see. I also showed you about making these lace cards. I've got one tucked into this little envelope flip thing here that we have made. Actually, let's see, this is a paper clip. So this slides off. Open it up. This I couldn't cover up the lace here. But inside of this, oops, I showed you about these lace cards that come with the kit. So that's one of these with this sentiments in there. There's a tutorial that goes into more depth on how to make these. And I'll link that down there in the description box below. I made these last year, so, but not the lace cards. Then this has got a couple of pockets. And again, this is a pocket on this side that slides into. Oops. This looks like on this side. I showed you how to kind of cut out the center of this so it's like a frame. I need to finish the top of this card here too. This one has the center. Like I said, this needs a pull. I don't need to do that. And then this little beauty here. Oops. So I removed this band here. This side was, I should have showed you that before I removed the band. Held together there by this band. And then inside of here, stuck this little notepad. And then on this side, the envelope just opens. And then here I have another one of those little cards. It has sentiments. So thank you again for joining me, and probably 2 or 3 more videos on the ephemera for this journal series. And keep in mind, all of these things are things you can make without the kit. I hope you follow along and look for the playlist that has all of the videos I've been making for the French Blue Paris and the 1789 Versailles kit. I'd love it if you'd let me know what we can cover in the next video. If there's questions or things that you are wanting to know, pages you're wanting to know where they are, please leave me a message in the comment box below and let me know what else you'd like to see. Thank you again so much for joining me. And if you'd like to see more, please hit the notification bell so that when I post the next video, you'll be notified. Thank you again. Appreciate your support so much. You actually really have no idea. So thank you.